Good morning. This is Bob Gorley with Bob's Truth Seekers. I have the pleasure of talking to Joan Miller, who is almost 96 years old. And she's a resident of Brookville, Pennsylvania. And Joanne, where were you born and raised?
I was born in Shenandoah, just south of here, on a farm. My mother and dad had a sizable farm, dairy farm, and I was born, like you say, they'll be 96 years ago.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I had 4 brothers and 6 sisters.
Wow.
I was the youngest of the
Of 11 children.
I was the youngest, and I just had a wonderful life.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about your early life?
What?
Can you tell me a little bit about your early life? Like, you grew up on a farm.
Well,
Did you have chickens?
oh yes. Oh, we had chickens. We had the norm. We had chickens. We had pigs. We had the cows and the workhorses, of course, because early on, my dad didn't have a tractor. It was all done with horse-drawn equipment.
That's right. You're from the greatest generation. And did they have cars? Can you remember?
We did not have a car early on. No.
About how old were you when you finally got a car?
It was probably the late 30s.
And
or let me see. I should know. Maybe 40. See, the war broke out in 41. Okay, late 30s or 40, early 40s. Yeah.
And so then you started before there was telephones.
What?
There was no telephones when you were real little.
I remember of a couple of sisters, that's all. First of all, by the time I was born, my 2 oldest brothers were through Gettysburg College. So, you see, till I was aware of anything, many of my brothers and sisters were out in the world and they weren't even at home. But I had the 2 sisters next to me. I went to school, grade school with one. That was it. And so then I walked. I'd love to know how far. It would be well over a mile.
To school?
To school.
To go to school.
It was all 8 grades in one-room school, you know.
Where was your school at?
Shenandoah. Okay. When you're coming down from Crates.
Okay.
I don't know, there used to be a trailer in there. Do you know where Lewis Keel lives?
I'm not sure where Lewis Keel lives.
Okay. He lives coming down from Crates. He would live on your left-hand side. And then the next building on the right, it sets off the road not far. It was a lovely little school.
Did you say it was a one-room school?
Hmm?
Was it a one-room school?
1 room.
And what did you use for heat?
A pot-bellied stove.
Coal furnace.
Yeah. And the teachers usually had someone tend the fire in the morning, come in and do a fire. But we had one. She came and done it herself, and you know, I never remember being cold.
Did you take lunch with you, or?
Oh heavens, yes!
And
every day.
And water? Did they have water there?
They did. We went. We were allowed to go to the neighbors, Connors on the one side and Yaney on the other, and we would rotate going for a bucket of water.
So you're allowed to drink out of a bucket of water.
There was a dipper,
Okay.
and let me see, there was just a dipper. I'm sure we used all the same cup.
Yep.
Oh, I know we did.
I'm a lot younger than you, and we drank out of hoses. So you drank out of cups and stuff like that. And was there an outhouse?
There was an outhouse, there was a coal house where they kept the coal, and that was all, the only buildings we had.
But how many kids were at this one?
Well, I would say we would have, I'm thinking back of one of the pictures, between 25 and 30.
Well, that's a lot. That's a lot of kids for.
That is, it was. But see, there was another grade school, which they called the Himes School, and it was up 28, and it closed. So they bused them over to us. So that was our last years. And then it closed in, I think my 8th grade year was the last one that it closed, and they bust them then.
So after 8 years, you graduate from school?
After 8 years, yes, I went to New Bethlehem 2 years.
Then you went to New Bethlehem.
Mother and Dad felt that it was the best school, and we had a choice then. So I rode with my sister every day to New Bethlehem for 2 years. And finally, I said to Mom and Dad, you know, I want to go where my friends go and where I go to church, the ones I go to church and Sunday school with. So that was the year that I went to CL for 1 year.
Oh.
And wouldn't you know, at the end of my junior year, Somerville and Red Bank consolidated. So now I had to go to Somerville for my last year of high school.
So you started off for 8 years in your one-room school. Then you went to CEL for 1 year?
New Bethlehem.
You went to New Bethlehem for 2 years. Then you went to CEL for 1 year. Then you ended up in Somerville. Wow.
And you know, Bob, we didn't want to go, and they didn't want us. So we went in, and Red Bank was here in the classroom, and Somerville was here. So Friday evening, Mrs. Albright said, now, when you come in, before you leave, I want you to take all your books out of your desk. Clean your desk out. So when we come in Monday morning, she put a Red Bank, a Somerville, a Red Bank, a Somerville. Well, kids are going to talk.
Yes.
So before long, we were just the best of friends and
Good.
had a wonderful class.
Wow.
And then after that, my father then was killed that summer.
Were your brothers or anybody in the World War II? Did you have anybody in the war?
That what?
World War II was in.
Oh yes.
Some of your family was in.
I had two brothers, one in the Navy and one in the Army, and then I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was 6. Yeah. All of our my husband then but he was in. Were all in the service. Everybody.
And did they live through the service?
Yes.
Ah.
They did.
Which is,
yeah.
With that many people, that's
right.
That's pretty good that they all returned.
Right. I was very lucky. Well, my one brother was in England and suffered terrible results from the bombing, and I guess the bombing was the worst thing there for him. He said it was just, you never knew when it was coming, and It was so loud and brash, and it was bad. Now, my other brother was in the Navy, and he got chosen to teach people to read and write.
Oh.
So he never was sent abroad. Yeah.
Okay, so you graduated high school, and then what happened?
Well, like I said, that summer that I was between my senior year, my father was killed with lightning.
Oh, that was an interesting story.
And so now I was the only one at home with Mother. So I wouldn't leave Mother to go to college, go to school. And so my sister said, well, you've got to do something. She said, you're just not going to sit around here. And just, so she found in Pittsburgh Commercial a correspondence course. I took typing, shorthand, bookkeeping, and some English. Not much English as I remember. And she took me down at the end of every month on a Saturday. I had to be there at 9 o'clock, I think, as I remember. And I took a test for that whole month.
Ah.
Got my assignments for the next month. Come home. And I got a certificate. So, worked out well.
So then, with that certificate, did you get a job or did you?
I did. In fact, I got in the office down here at Sylvania. And at the time.
Is that a telephone company?
It was electric.
Electric company.
Yeah, they made tubes.
Oh.
Tubes.
And where was that at? In Somerville? Or?
Yeah, it was right down. Do you know where the Heritage House is now?
Uh-huh.
You know where what they call let me see. We call it the White Elephant. You know where Dan Smith's is?
Are you talking about in Brookville?
No, the one in Brookville. Okay, do you know where their ice cream place is?
In Brookville?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Across the street, there was Dirty Thurman's, which is a bar, but on back in there was our plant of Sylvania.
And how many people worked there?
Oh my!
A lot.
It was huge.
A lot of people.
I'm gonna say well over 100.
And you made like light bulbs.
Around the clock. They had shift work. Yeah.
And what were you making?
They made television tubes.
Television tubes.
Yeah, radio. Mm-hmm.
And you remember when there wasn't any television?
Yes.
And then when you did have television, there was like 3 channels or something like that?
It was 3 channels, and it was about, 9 inches? It was very small.
Small.
At least that's what we got.
Yes.
I was thankful for it. And
it was black and white?
It was just black, yeah,
black
and white.
Ah. So, what are some of your fond memories over the years? Like from back in those days?
What was that?
What were some of your fond memories from back in your working days?
Oh my, I have so many, because I truthfully, Bob, I don't harbor any ill feelings or thoughts.
Uh-huh.
I just don't.
Good.
I'm not saying maybe I haven't experienced some things that wasn't pleasing to me, but I forget it. It's not worth it. I was raised in the Lutheran Church at Shenandoah, baptized, confirmed, married, buried most of our family there, and it gave me a very solid, firm belief and understanding of forgiving and why and how. And it's so easy. It's so easy to forgive.
It's a lot easier on you if you can forgive people. You know, that's a burden if you're have a grudge against people.
Right.
So you get rid of your.
Well, you said my fond memories.
Yes.
Probably Christmas was one of the highlights of our family. Mother was a great shepherd, and she just wanted, if possible, everybody to come home. Everybody come home. And if you didn't come, well, are you feeling well, or is there a reason, So Christmas was just always so wonderful. And for me, being the youngest, by this time they were all buying all these gifts, which of course I didn't have any money yet, but it just made for a wonderful, wonderful lasting memory.
Very lively.
Oh yeah. Easter was too. Our family always came home. They all came home. And when Mother passed,
How old was your mother when she passed?
93.
93.
She passed in 77, and luckily we had a big home at that time, so we just sort of took over then them coming to our house for the holidays, and so it continued for many, many years, and that's till Ken passed, and they still come here. I still get the kids.
And Ken was your husband, and you guys were from Frogtown, or your business was in Frogtown.
You're right.
We always thought that was a heck of a name. As a little kid, there's a place called Frogtown.
I know. And we got into the business, and Ken was always very happy to say, well, we're from Frogtown.
Yes.
He loved that. And, of course, it was a big joke over all the other...
Throughout the world, it's a big joke.
Frogtown. It really was. But he loved it, and he was proud of the little burg. So...
and how did you guys end up having a John Deere dealership?
Well, prior to John Deere, Ken and George, his brother-in-law, my sister's husband, had ditching and graders that they done soil conservation on Jefferson, Clearfield, Clarion, Armstrong, I think about 4 or 5 counties. And we were finally getting to Ken finally graduated college. Then he went into this business, him and George. And we finally got that we were, making some money, had a little money, and very comfortable and happy. And there was a man came to the shop one day, and he said, would you be interested in a John Deere dealership? He said, you have been suggested in the community for a dealership. And of course, Ken jumped on it. He was raised with a John Deere. George was okay, but he was more hesitant. And so they set up, this is funny, they set up an appointment in Syracuse, New York, which was the branch house, for them to be interviewed. So they took their portfolio, which was about like that, and went to Syracuse. And they met with a Mr. Hildebrand and told them all what they wanted and what they could do and what they had, and so it was quite lengthy. And So finally, Mr. Hildebrand said, well, fellas, you just don't have enough operating cash. You have to have operating cash to get the business. So George backed up. Boy, he was out of there. That was okay with George, but not Ken. He felt he was going to. So he got to the door and he turned and said to Mr. Hildebrand, I have to tell you something. He said, you're missing out on two very hard-working, honest, reputable men. He said, it's your loss, not mine. So they came home. He was quite disappointed. He really was. He wanted it really bad. And so, as I remember, I think it was about 3 weeks later, they called and they said, would you still consider taking the dealership? And of course Ken said sure. And that was in April of '64.
And did you work in the dealership?
I did.
Did you keep your books and stuff like that?
I worked in the dealership from '64 about, just about 9 years. I did the books, thank goodness.
Your early practice turned out to be real good.
Right. I was so thankful that I had the back knowledge that I had, even though I didn't have depreciation and all that kind of stuff. But, so one day Ken came home for dinner, and I said, you know, Ken, I think we have enough money now that you could pay a secretary, because I did get paid. And he said, well, it's up to you. And I said, I'll stick by her and I'll help her and I'll do the running for you. But, you know, Bob, we had no children. So John Deere was our life. We had nothing to talk about except John Deere. And, of course, we never left the church. But he said, well, it's perfectly all right with me. So there was a girl there in town that I knew was a wonderful bookkeeper, and I called her. She jumped at the chance, and she was there, I think, like 37 years.
Perfect.
She was wonderful.
Perfect.
She really was.
And Ken, was he a flyer?
Yes.
Did you ever ride with him?
No.
Did he have an airplane at Frogtown?
Yeah. They built a helicopter.
They built a helicopter.
Yeah, and George flew it quite a bit. They were both pilots in the service. One was a fighter and one was a navigator. Of course, they went round and round about that, you know. But they were the best of friends. Anyway, George flew it quite a bit. Just around, never any great distance, but.
And this is a helicopter that they built. That's a little higher risky. So, well, how has the area changed in your lifetime?
Tremendously. My life has gone from.
Started off as a farm girl. So,
when I think back, I am so thankful for my heritage. So thankful. I had wonderful, wonderful heritage. And I'm so thankful for my nurturing in early years. I was taught that, okay, if I got a little money, I would do things for my dad, you know. Okay, you'll get a quarter, you get this. And so my mother would say, now listen, don't go and just spend it at the 5 and 10. Just wait till you get enough and we'll get you something good. This was how she was raised. And this she kind of wanted to instill in us, her children. So I'm very thankful for not only my parents, Bob, but my older brothers and sisters. They taught me so much. They got out in the world, and when they came back, they taught me how to eat soup properly. A napkin, as I remember. And they taught me how to present myself and because living in Shannondale on a farm, I never forget my one brother when I graduated. He came home from Philly for it, which I was so pleased about that. And he said, I want to tell you something, sweetie. He said, when you walk down the street, he said, nobody knows what's in your wallet but you. So he said, you hold your head high, and he said, just hang right in there. And something else he told me. He was very methodical. He was valedictorian. He was brilliant, really he was. He said, I forget what I was going to tell you. Oh, he said, when you get out in the world, he said, you're going to experience all types of people. And he said, I'm going to tell you something. You listen, regardless what they look like. He said, take time to listen, what they have to say, and then when you go home tonight, and you think about what you heard from those individuals throughout the day or whatever, he said, which one do you want to emulate? Just how do you want to be? And Bob, isn't that wonderful information?
I think you have learned it well because you have a nice presence to you.
They just all came home with, and they were so good to me, just wonderful.
What drew you to this community here?
Brought me here?
Yes.
Okay, Ken and I we lived in Frogtown on 66, there by the store.
Yes.
And in the meantime, we had got a place in Florida and had been going down there for 10, 12 winters. And
what part of Florida?
Fort Myers.
Oh, that's a nice area over there.
And we were golfers.
Okay.
He loved it. I liked it, but he loved it.
He was the one that loved it.
So, out of Pinecrest, here in Brookville, this big house came up for sale that the country club owned. Now, it originally in early 1903 was the first country club. And the the golf course was right in around that area of that house. So he came home from golf one night and he said, you know, Joanne, that house up on top of the hill's up for sale. He said, I think we should look at it. I said, Ken, we have a farm, we have 2 rentals in town, we have this, we that. I said, no, we don't need another home. And he said, oh, you have to come and look at it. It's charming. It would be charming. And so I said, well, you really are a good salesperson. We came up and looked through the windows, and he put a bid in. And July the 13th, 1976, the phone rang about 10 o'clock at night. And it said, is Ken there? And I said, sure. So he got on the phone, and they said, well, this is Mr. Weaver. He said, you just bought a home in Brookville. Well, he was delighted. So we just, Ernie Smale was with us a lot, worked for us, odd jobs, just tinkering around, plumbing and painting and what have you. So Ernie and I went to Brookville day after day and day after day. And it took a lot of work to get it that we could, because they penned a dog in their one room and it just reeked. It was so bad, we had to tear up the carpet, and I think he put, I don't remember then if he put down subflooring or how that was. It was awful. It was just terrible. But anyway, it ended up then that in, I guess, in the 90s, we sold the Frogtown house to Mark Aaron.
Oh.
And then we just had this one. Oh, yes. So now we lived at Brookville and in Florida, back and forth.
Uh-huh.
And so it was divine intervention is what it was, because the last year we left Florida, he said, you know, I'm tired of this packing back and forth. Are you? And I said, I sure am. So he said, let's take what we could take and sell this place. I said, sounds wonderful to me. So we came home in March. We always came home for Easter and be at church for Easter down home.
Good.
And yeah, that's how it was. So then we were at Brookville, and he, of course, would drive back and forth to John Deere. And so in 2000, we got an offer to sell the business. And
was that to Land Pro?
that was, yeah.
To Land Pro.
That was to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was in 2000. So he still went down practically every day, unless golf interfered a little. And in 2023 of July, he had a physical. This was an annual physical. And I guess it was for insurance. I guess it was. Anyway, he had a lung x-ray. And Dr. Nabachi said, there's a shadow in there. He said, I know it's not cancer. He said, it's just a shadow laying in the bottom of your lung. So he said, I'm going to send you down to pulmonary at Presby and have him look at it. So we went down. I think it was a couple of weeks till we got in, of course. Dr. Serba was the head pulmonary doctor. He looked at it and he said, it's not cancer. But he said, I suppose we should do a biopsy. So we decided to do a biopsy. And Bob, they did a biopsy. The doctor came out at 10:30 at night and said, boy, we really had to rough him up. He said, we couldn't get a good biopsy. So my sister was with me, and going home, she said, don't you think that's strange that they would have to rough him up? That was on a Thursday.
That sounds unusual. And at night, at 10:30 at night. Yeah.
I brought him home Saturday. Sunday night, he went into a shaking chill that shook the bed. We got him dressed. I brought him in here to the hospital. They kept him till Tuesday. They said, we don't know what the problem is. We just don't know. So we went to Pittsburgh in ambulance. By this time, he's on oxygen. In this short time, he's on oxygen. I said, well, I'm going too. And the ambulance said, well, I can't bring you home if I don't bring him home. I said, if you don't bring him home, I'm not coming home either. So the Amy up at the hospital gave me a shirt and jammy bottoms. And so we went down, and he just went through test after test after test. And of course, all the time he was getting weaker. And he said to Dr. Serba, he said, I can't understand something. He said, the day before I came down here, he said, I worked 12 hours very hard. And he said, I can't even shake your hand this morning. I'm so weak. And so about 3 days after that, they came in and they said, well, Mr. Miller, there's nothing we could do for you. Now, he has a BiPAC on him this time. And so I followed them out. I said, it didn't register what you said. And he said, well, you'll have to just tell him. And I said, here I am just blubbering with tears. I said, I can't tell my husband he's not going to get well. He said, okay, I'll tell him tomorrow. So he came in and he said, Mr. Miller, he said, you know, I told you that we can't do anything more for you. And Ken looked at him, sort of gave a little bit of a smile, I thought. And he laid his hand over his heart and he said, well, I'm at peace. And about 6 days later, he was gone. So then, I stayed at the big house for 3 years, and I could handle the inside because I had a good girl to help me. But I couldn't handle the outside. There was just trees. We were in a blanket of forest to begin with. There was just trees every place and lots of leaves, and I couldn't. People would say they'd come and they would come, and so they were building here, and I came out and I went down to the factory where they were building these in Williamsport, chose this one, and that was 20 years ago next month.
This is a really nice one. So I guess you also have a tradition of hosting monthly dinners. Do you still do that? And do you do the cooking?
I do the cooking.
And do you make the desserts?
A dessert?
And what's one of your favorite meals?
Roast beef. That must please you.
Yes. It's hard to beat meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes. And what's your favorite dessert?
You know, Bob, I'm not a real big dessert eater. Maybe a bite or two of something is all. I guess I like a good pie. Well, it would be a toss-up, truthfully. I eat a lot of cookies.
Seeing how we were in the meat world, where do you get your beef at now?
Where do I get my beef at? A friend of mine's in-laws have beef.
Raised beef.
And they raise it.
So you get like
and so I get a couple of little roasts, and
yeah.
I don't get many steaks.
Wow.
I don't do steaks well.
Not anymore.
And when the boys come, they bring a steak, and I don't bother. But I get roasts. I like a small beef roast. He knows it. He cuts them small, and some ground beef, and I guess I maybe saw a fillet I do, but that's where I get my meat.
You said you were playing bridge yesterday. Is that what you use to keep your mind active?
And today and
today.
tomorrow.
Oh, good.
And
how many people get to the...
Well, on every day except today, we have 3-4 tables.
Okay.
But other days we just have 2 tables. Yeah.
And you can still hold your own in those games.
What?
You can still win once in a while.
I do.
All right.
And I don't have... I guess being raised in a big family, I was taught you don't have to win.
Yes. Well, especially with brothers and sisters.
Right. Did you find that?
I did. How important is staying socially active? Do you like to stay socially active?
Oh, yes, I do. And because I like people.
Good.
I really like people. They are uplifting to me in one way or another. I really enjoy people.
Well, I give you credit for getting us be at Zion Lutheran Church. So thank you for taking my wife under your wing.
You know, Bob, I told you, at first it was a surprise, and then after a couple Sundays it was a disappointment when you didn't show up. Do you know when you're joining now? Do you know when that?
We signed those papers on
But you don't know when you're going to be transferring it.
That's beyond my
Okay.
pay grade, I guess. What advice would you give to others about building and maintaining friendships later in life? Like, keep interested in people, or
Honesty.
well, that's the name of us, truth seekers. We like truth.
You know, if you're honest, if you're just an honest person, what could go wrong?
People don't have to guess whether you're telling the truth or not, because they know that you're telling the truth.
Exactly.
Otherwise, people have to guess what's he mean by this, or what do they mean,
No.
what are they actually doing.
No one has to ever guess
Yes.
what I mean.
Well, truth is all you need.
Right.
And that way you don't have to remember because it's just the truth.
Exactly. I think honesty is such a terrific virtue.
How about one of your favorite stories from your neighborhood gatherings?
From what?
Well, you have these neighborhood meals once in a while and stuff like that. Which one of those was something that you remember? Like, they maybe are all special, but maybe one was very interesting.
Well, let's see if I had one. Like I say, I try every month to have a dessert for somebody, for a group. I like to have 7, because you can see 7 in here is just a comfortable
the right
it's
number.
It's good visiting, and yet it's not crowded. They were all fun and enjoyable at the time. So I can't come up actually with any one. Now my Christmases are, of course, they would be the highlight for me because of my tree and
You like to decorate it up?
Yeah.
Is it a real tree?
No.
So you went to the...
It's gone.
Okay. Well, we have kind of shifted that direction also. Was there ever a time, did you ever break any bones, or did you ever almost die or anything? Has your health been pretty good your whole life? Did you break any bones ever?
I've never had a broken bone.
Okay. So did you ever have to spend any time in the hospital?
I never was in a hospital, no wait, or had surgery till I was 90.
Okay, well, you made 90 years out of them.
And I had gallbladder.
Okay,
Nothing to it.
good.
And this is true. I had the hood on and was on, I don't think I was on the gurney yet. I think I was still in my hospital bed that morning. And the surgeon came in and she said, I have to check with you on something. And I said, oh my, is something wrong? She said, I know, I don't think so, but I have to just check for myself. She said, how old are you? And I said, well, I'm 90. And she said, I can't believe it. And she said, you mean you left that gallbladder hang around that long? I said, I never had a problem till now. But she actually was shocked that.
Like, how did you know you had gallbladder trouble?
Oh, I just got deathly sick right in that room one night. And I made it to my kitchen before it came up. That's how quick it came. I thought, oh, I'm going to, and I had my mouth, I can remember covering my mouth, but I made it to my kitchen.
So gallbladder makes you throw up.
Oh, mine did.
See, I didn't know anything about gallbladder, so.
Well, see, the thing that happened to me was, and she said that night is probably, I had a stone move out of the gallbladder in the duct, and that's when it makes you sick. So I had to go once and have them go down the esophagus and go around and punch that stone out, and then I could have the surgery. But I was sick. I was nauseous.
How long from the time you got it removed till you got out of the hospital?
That day.
So you didn't have to spend the night in there at all?
No.
That's even better yet, because that's not a place you want to hang out at. Okay. How has your perspective on health, independence, and community support evolved as you've aged? Are people, well, you've had such good health, it doesn't really pertain to you.
That's right.
How do you stay in contact with loved ones now?
Oh, heavens. Mostly we text every day.
So texting.
And that was just the one from Florida called this morning just to say hi.
Hallelujah.
And one will be coming the first week of March, for the week. Of course, it's my birthday. And so...
That's not very far away. Your birthday's not very far away. We're coming up on it pretty quick. Okay. If you could give one piece of advice to younger generations about preparing for retirement, what would it be? Would you go to retirement earlier, or would you try to delay going to retirement?
I would not retire early.
Keep working keep active as long as you can.
I encourage everyone to keep working regardless of their age if they are able and can do it. I think to sit at home and do nothing, have no responsibilities or no scheduling, I think it's such a waste of time.
Good. What's your favorite thing to cook or bake?
To cook or bake?
Yeah, it sounded like you said beef roast.
But it would probably be a beef roast because that's what I enjoy eating.
Do you use potatoes and carrots with them?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do just mashed potatoes and gravy and noodles that go. That's what they prefer.
Mashed potatoes and noodles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those are real mashed potatoes?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
I peel them. Yep. I do. Don't you still peel yours?
Well, sometimes we eat them with the peel on now. Like we're starting to get it, leaving the peel on. We wash them real nice, and then we kind
Well, no, but you don't use a box. It's what I bet.
No.
Yo, that's
No, never.
Yeah.
That's a.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love the peeling on a potato. Sometimes, occasionally, I'll slice a potato and not peel it, and fry it in a lot of butter.
Yes. That's really good.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite book?
Probably the Bible.
Okay. Do you have a favorite movie?
No.
Do you have any music that has stuck to you over the decades?
I don't anymore because of my hearing.
Okay.
Movies are very difficult for me, and music, with the loss of in this ear, and with the heavy hearing aid in this one, I don't pick up some of the tones, so it's really ruined by. But I love music.
Did you shoot guns? Did you ever shoot guns?
No.
Because growing up on a farm,
No.
like a lot of people.
That was not a lady thing.
Oh, okay.
That was strictly for the boys.
All right. Yeah. If you could travel back in time, what part of your life did you really like? Would it be back to your childhood days, or to your married days, or to where was a very lively part of your life?
It would definitely be my marriage.
Your marriage?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He was
a wonderful guy.
He was everything that I could ask for in a husband.
I didn't get to see him as much as you did, but I never saw him angry. Did you ever? You probably saw him angry once or twice. But he was very knowledgeable, kind guy. So
he enjoyed everything. I guess that's probably how we grew together. We both really appreciate and enjoy everything. He played the piano. That's how
he played the piano.
That's actually how I met him.
Wow. Do you play any instruments?
I played the piano.
Oh, so you played the piano also?
And we played duets for a long time.
Ah.
And he played the mandolin. I'll show you. It's in here. And
a mandolin, that's like a big violin or something like that? Or what's a mandolin?
It's in here.
Oh, it's a little one. Okay.
He liked music. He was just a very broad-minded, appreciative man.
I didn't know that he liked music, or that he played piano. That's all new to me.
Yeah.
So.
We used to compete which one could play it the better,
Good.
It was fun.
Good. I like that you played duet.
It was.
So, this is podcast 126, I believe, and is there anything else you want to pass on to the world?
Other than the Lord has been good to me, and still is. I shouldn't put it in past tense. He still is. He guides me, he leads me, he comforts me, and without him, I would be lost.
In your lifetime, have you ran across evil?
Not really.
That I think growing up out in the country keeps you away from some of the evils of the cities and stuff like that. I don't know, but I think it's so lucky that we can grow up in a rural community.
Oh, I do too.
Rural community.
Now, we had a neighbor, and they didn't have any ground. They just had a lot with a house on down the road from us. And he would come up and steal, I guess I'd say steal, apples and so on out of our orchard. Now, to me and to us, that was terrible because we wouldn't think of doing that.
Good. You grew up very, special.
Yeah. We just, we had a wonderful orchard, all kinds of apples. My dad had a cave, and those apples and cabbage and potatoes and carrots and everything. We lasted all winter.
Well, that's how you were maintenance free. You had everything that you needed. So I surely appreciate you doing this interview, Joanne. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And this is February the 17th.
And I have to add, Bob,
okay,
that you and Sue have been a joy in my life. Truly, you have. You've been a great addition, and I get much happiness within when I see you.
Well, I thank you for getting us there. Or keeping us there.
So it's a mutual agreement.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, good.
So that's it. Have a good day.
All right, thank you.